Hello everybody, I have the best snack for you. They are bacon pinwheels, and when I made this recipe, I probably made them every single week for like a good year. And because they're perfect to put in the freezer. So me and my dog Reggie, who's tippy-tapping over here because he can smell the bacon, we got this recipe ready and gonna get cranked for you because I'm so excited about this. So very, very easy. And the notion of this like pinwheel recipe is really cool because you can actually make it like 20 different ways. You can do pizza ones, you can do sweet ones, savory ones, whatever you like. This is a delicious way to get more veg in, especially for your kids. So let's do this. Okay, so I've got capsicum. So we're just gonna chop things up, dicing up as thin as like sort of as small as we possibly can without making it almost like a paste. So we kind of want to keep like a little bit in it. So I'll show you. Let's just dice this like small dice because this is going to cook down, small enough for it to be sort of bite-sizey, and not, you know, big chunks of capsicum, but not super small that it will turn to a paste once it cooks down. So really rough because we're going to cook this, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Let's just, whoopsie daisy, my garlic's kind of trying to jump in on the party. Right. We're using half a capsicum, half a red. And like I said, you can put anything in here. Anything goes in a pinwheel and no one will ever know because it's cooked down and it's cooked in the oven and it's just the best bloody treat ever. I used to, like these were my 2 p.m. snacks. I'd put them in the oven and honestly, like elitist snack. Okay, so then same with onion. Loosely dice it. I was holding my knife really weird just then. Loosely dice. So we are getting in, you can probably add some zucchini in here without knowing. Slice up your garlic. We don't really need a lot. We've just got 2. You can just slice this up into like sort of like chunks. Again, it's gonna cook down. We don't want it to be, you don't want it to be super garlicky, but you know. If you hear a doggy door flapping, just FYI, that's just my dogs coming in and out, in and out, in and out for the 500th time today. Don't know why, but every day that we film, they're like, yep, I just want to just go investigate everything outside. So I've got 4 bacon rashers here. Now this is Aussie bacon, right? This is called shortcut bacon. And every time we have an American being like, what are you making? Are you making ham? I was like, well, yeah, like technically, yeah, no, this is bacon. This is what our bacon looks like. The bacon would come like, the rind is what you would typically see in America, but this is our bacon. It's a lot, I'd say like leaner, I guess. It's less fatty, but yeah, when I go to America and I ordered like bacon and eggs and it came with this like streaky bacon, I was like, no, I want bacon, like I want to eat the bacon. It was not nice, but I always get asked like, what is that? What is that? I'm like, come on guys, come on. It's like, I think it's the Canadian bacon is what Americans would relate to the most, I think. So anyways, we're gonna dice this up. Again, very rough dice, that's okay. Parsley, but a little small little handful. Chop, chop, chop. Nice and easy. I love when I get to cook things, like if I get to cook it down, it's so easy because I can't be bothered doing a lot of chopping. Spring onion, we want to slice this flake, like when I tell you that these will be gone by the end of this, like, I mean, the video will end, and then 5 minutes after that, everyone will come inside, everyone will get at least 2, and they'll be gone within 5 seconds. So when you make this recipe, I'm telling you double it or triple it because people in your household will freaking love it. So that's it here, and we have some baby spinach that we're gonna add to this and cook it into the pan. So we're gonna take this over to the pan, cook it until it's sort of like lightly softened, and then we're gonna come back here and roll it. So let's go do that right now. All right, let's do this. We're gonna put olive oil in a pan, probably about a tablespoon. When I say probably about a tablespoon, you know what I'm talking about. Or drizzle, you know? All of this, all at the same time. We're gonna chuck this whole thing in. And then again, like I said, we're just gonna lightly cook it till it's softened, the bacon sort of browning a little bit. Because again, it's gonna cook again in the oven, so we don't wanna overdo it here and then dry it out in the oven. So, all right. Spinach we'll put in like last minute, but that's all done. Let's just do a little bit of stirry stir. Here we want to add in some salt and pepper, of course. Pinch of salt. Leah pinch of salt, sorry. Regular pinch of pepper. And then we're gonna add Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. I get very confused about how to say that. Worcestershire sauce. The amount of times I've heard it say differently, I'm like, man, I don't know what's what. Chucking that in there, just a little bit of extra flavor. Won't even fit in there. Stir that around. And then, yeah, wait for it to soften. And then we're gonna let it cool a little bit before we add the rest of the ingredients. So it's almost ready, so we're gonna chuck our spinach in just to soften that. Give it about 2 to 3 more minutes. Once that's wilted down, we'll take it off and let it cool. All right, this is all done. How's mum buying pans without any handles? This is so silly. So here we go. We're gonna put it all into a bowl and we're gonna let it cool slightly. And the reason why we let it cool is because we're gonna be using semi-frozen puff pastry. And if you put a hot thing on the frozen puff pastry, it'll almost melt it and it just goes to shit. So it's easy if we just let it slightly cool first. Couple minutes, you don't need to do it for like, it doesn't need to be freezing cold. So it's better if you have the time. But if you don't, just let it, normal steam is what you want because we'll work quite quickly. We just don't want a lot of steam because that will just melt the puff pastry. All right, we are lightly cooled. Now we're gonna add some cheese in. So just some shredded mozzarella cheese. You can add a lot more if you want to, whatever you like, whatever you feel. And an egg. Now the egg is just for that little added bit of extra protein. I know that when I was developing this recipe, it was going in one of the guides. So I developed it to have that little bit of extra protein. It's completely optional. So if you are allergic to egg or whatever, you can 100% take it out. Now, mix that, and that is your mixture. So we're going to spread this mixture all over this puff pastry. Now this mixture will at least do 2. So we'll halve it and do double. But what we want to be working with is almost semi-frozen. So it's not soft, but it's not soft, but it's not frozen. It's a little bit firmer because if you do super soft, then that's when it's gonna start to like melt in your hands, really hard to cut. So let's half this and we'll spread it and we'll do it on 2. So there we go. Spread it over. Now this can be a little bit messy, but just trust the process. Spread it all over. Alrighty, that's it. Get it off the spoon. Now we're gonna roll. Now we need to roll really tight, really, almost like gently, but really tight. So roll forward and as tight as you can across all of it. Keep going. Tight. Perfect. Slowly is better, but so you can get it as tight as you can, as possible. And then seam side down, we're gonna push like that. And there we have, we're all ready to cut. So we want to kind of cut as soon as we kind of can. We want to cut as soon as we can because obviously it's going to start to melt with it in it. So you're going to go half, a little bit firmer on the, with a knife, and then half again. And then make each half into 3. That's how I kind of do it in my mind. You can do it how you can make them as big or as little as you like, completely up to you. It's just easier if I just said that out loud. So for my brain, that would work. That's it. And then, oops, I did one more. That was so silly. See you later. Now we do put this seam side up, open side up onto a tray. Just like that. How good does this look? So now we're gonna put this in the oven for about 15 to 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how lightly nice and golden we want, on 200 degrees. And then we're gonna take it out, let it cool before we shove 10 in our mouths. Okay, ready? Let's do this. Have a look at these. They look crispy and delicious. Okay, to be honest, probably a little bit overcooked, but that's all right. That's fine. Now, I could shove my whole face into those. So if you want to cook them fresh, great. If you want to freeze them, you can either freeze them cooked or you can freeze them uncooked on a tray like this, pop them in the freezer, and then once they're completely frozen, take them off the paper, off the tray, and chuck them in a bag, and they are perfect. You can just add another 5 minutes to the cook time, chuck them in the oven frozen, and they work so well. They're good for lunch boxes. I want to bite this so bad, but it's so hot, so I won't. For this recipe, is in the description below. You need to try this, but you also be a bit adventurous with it. Maybe try like a pizza flavor or a sweet flavor or something completely different. Like give it a go and let me know what you do. This is honestly such a delicious snack and perfect for the kids and you as well. So these are gonna last 5 minutes when the camera shuts off. So I'm gonna go. I will see you guys next week. Everything that you need to know in the description, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you something equally as delicious.